All right, so for today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Knipex 0206 225 combination pliers. Now, I did previously take a look at another pair of 9-inch lineman pliers from Knipex. The only thing different was those were the black anodized finishing to them, where these are the chrome-plated finishing to them. So we're going to go ahead and start the review off by what we generally do here, by taking a look at the handles on the tool. Now these have those large 9-inch handles on them, so it's going to give you a lot more leverage when you're cutting through either multiple conductors or you're cutting through a little bit larger conductor. It's going to give you that nice leverage, so your hand's not super tight to the top, and can kind of have it sit back and use as little pressure as possible to cut through it. Like most of the Knipex pliers, these are going to feature the VDE style handles on them. I do believe they offer them in a comfort grip version as well. I'm not sure about a dipped version, but I know that they offer them in a comfort grip version. So if you don't need the VDE handles, you can save yourself a few dollars and pick up the comfort grip version of them. And like most pliers from Knipex, you're going to have the model number stamped on the handle. And then here is the capacity that the cutting knives on this specific pair of pliers can do. So it can do up to 2.5 millimeter piano wire. And then you have some certifications that the tool either meets or exceeds to prove that it is up to the standards to protect someone using it from getting electrical shock up to 1,000 volts. And then Knipex, being Knipex, they generally manufacture a lot of their stuff in Germany. So you tend to see made in Germany everywhere on their pliers, and this is no exception. You have it right here on the bottom, and then you also have a year code. So these were made in 2024, so at the time of posting this video, that was roughly last year or 1 year ago these were produced. And then you also have some more information here on the inside of the handle. Again, you're going to have your Made in Germany up top, and then some more of these certifications that the tool went through. And the handles are going to be the exact same. And now, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know that I do like these VDE style handlers over just the standard comfort grip handles. I feel that the material itself is a little bit softer than the comfort grip handles. That's just my personal preference. You might be different. And you do have these little nubs here on the handle, which is nice, which is pretty much the don't put anything past these little nubs, because it's kind of like the point of no return. So if you have your finger out there, you risk getting shocked if you were working around or on something that was live. And then these being chrome plated, they are going to be able to withstand rust a lot better than just a standard pair of the black oxide or black anodized pair of pliers. They're not going to obviously completely protect it from rust. Eventually the tool will start to rust, but the whole point of the chrome plating is to protect it a lot better, especially if you're working in a lot of wet or damp environments and your tools are constantly being exposed. And then you have the Knipex name, which is a part of the forging of the plier, which is nice. You have a fairly large rivet, which is super close to your cutting knives, and you do have a fairly large cutting knife on this pair of pliers. Now, one thing to note about the chrome-plated pliers or chrome-plated tools in general is if it's a cutting tool, they have to sharpen the cutting knives before they chrome-plate it. Otherwise, it would make no sense to chrome-plate the tool and then sharpen the cutting knives and take all that chrome plating off. I know some people have said that they can tell that there is a difference when cutting through material if you have a standard black oxide tool versus a chrome-plated tool. So that is something you may or may not notice. And then coming past the cutting knives, you have some nice teeth here. So if you wanted to use those to grip onto a bolt or a nut, you could, or some type of fastener. You could use those if maybe you're trying to tighten something down into a fastener. You can use those little teeth cut out there for said purpose. And we'll set those off to the side. And then you do have some parallel teeth there on the nose of the plier. Obviously being here in the States, you don't tend to see a lot of linemen or a lot of electricians using combination pliers. They typically use a pair of lineman pliers. You have a little bit fatter of a nose, which allows you to easily twist a few conductors together. And instead of us having parallel teeth on lineman pliers, you tend to have crosshatch teeth on them, which give you a little bit more bite when it comes to working with wires. So that is something to note about a pair of combination pliers. And you flip over to the back side, you do have a barcode here on the handle, which is for, I believe, retail sale over in Europe. Where they're pretty much sold there on the shelves. You don't typically see Knipex really sold here on the shelves unless you go to some stores like Menards and things like that, but it's a very small selection, where over in Europe you pretty much see VD and Comfort Grip, and I'm not sure about dipped handles, but I know you see the Comfort Grip and the VD pretty much all the time over there. And then here is the back end of the plier, fairly simple, nice chrome plating done on it. That's pretty much it for the detail on these guys. Kind of already showed you some of the features on them, about the that bolt or that fastener holder there. Now you probably want to see if these can or can't cut some conductors. One thing to note about these is if you get them in the right spot, they do tend to stick. But if you just shake it a little bit, or you get it past that spot, the handles will generally fall open on these, which is nice. Maybe after some use, that sticky spot that kind of wants to hold it closed every now and then will go away. So here I got some 12 gauge stranded wire, and we'll go ahead and chop this guy up. And these have no issues cutting through that 12 gauge stranded wire. And while we're at it, we might as well see if we can't strip it. And I don't think I cut deep enough there. And we can pull off that insulation. It's a little bit tricky to do here on camera, but I am able to do it. So we'll go ahead and move that stuff off to the side. And we'll bring in a bunch of 12 gauge wires that are all taped together, or at least part of them are taped together. And we'll go ahead and cut through all of these conductors at once. So we'll go ahead and line them up in there, and we'll go ahead and power through it all. Gonna definitely have to squeeze this guy a little bit hard to do it, and I kind of slipped out there on the edge of that one. So we'll go ahead and redo that again, try to get them all on, all the conductors in there, and we're gonna go ahead and do it again. And that time we were a lot more successful cutting through all of those conductors. Now I guess we'll bring in some NYM cable and see if we can't cut through this cable. So it's 5 conductors there on the inside. See if we can't cut through this without any issue. And a little bit of pressure on there, and you are able to cut through that. And you could tip those to straighten it out. So overall, these are definitely a nice pair of pliers from Knipex. Like I said, if you're not looking for the chrome-plated version of these, I did drop a review of just the standard black oxide finish of them a little while ago. So if you look through some of my past Knipex videos, you will find the review of that. But if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I've been slowly but surely picking up all of the insulated pliers from Knipex. And this is no exception. This is I guess you could say, my latest addition to that growing collection, and thought might as well make a video of it while I'm at it. So here it is. So with that being said, that's all I have for this video. If you're looking to pick these up for yourself, there will be some links down in the description below. And if you want to learn some more about these pliers, there will also be a link down in the description below. It'll take you right on over to the Knipex website, where you can find out some more information about these. So with that being said, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching.